Using non-professional actors for a film of this budget is not crazy. 60 millimeter cameras in the desert?
And with visual effects, a lot, explosions. These are questions that you have to make to my producers, you know.
You've talked about how the archaeology of film is always tough to discuss because you get inspiration and many different things have to come together for something like this to be made. But I'm given to understand that 2 points of those archaeologies, 2 pillars of the foundation here. One, you had this image of trucks crossing the desert, and another was when you were making mimosas, you reconnected with dance culture. Can you walk us through a couple of these points of the creation story of this film?
Yes, I was living in Tangier since 2004. It's the place where I did my first feature, You Are Captains. And when I finished it, I started to have images of the desert. In a way, it was a kind of call to go to the desert with these trucks crossing the sand. And after I started to go to Raves and to dance these images. So the key thing, the important thing was to introduce that images on the script, to work from these images and to keep these images alive through all the script writing and pre-production and shooting process, you know, because most of the time filmmakers, we put too much weight and rhetoric into images, you know. We kill images. Images are just instrumentalized to say something, to narrate something, and it's a pity. They are not images, and these films are like audiovisual stories. That's the key thing, you know, to protect these images in order that they arrive alive with all the layers, symbolism, collective archetypes, sensoriality. I mean, an image is a really complex things, really, really complex things. And what is happening between these and the human metabolism?
And obviously music plays such a key part in this. I am curious, not just how you used music in general, but this score, like working with your composer to take this trance music and use it as part of the storytelling, and drawing from this particular scene, this subculture, in terms of your casting for the film.
Yeah, the way we write is really atmospheric. And music, it's about atmospheres. And the way that we talk about music is the same that we talk about images sometimes, color, texture, grain. And in a way, I found a musician who is a filmmaker. His music is really cinematic. And me, I'm a musician in a way. I discovered being a musician making this film. He was perfect to dialogue with this cathartical music, you know, from the beginning, this techno with the beat, you know, with this kind of trance, you know, and with his rage. And someone also that has the sensitivity and someone really delicate to make more transcendental, ethereal, esoterical music, you know. At the end, we approach ambient music, sacred music in a way, you know. It has this really a complex sensitivity, you know.
I'm curious how you chose these people to play these dancers and how Sergio Lopez, who's wonderful in this, got involved.
So I started to work with non-professional actors also for this role, but nothing was like really, you know, it's clear that, bam, you know, it's you found it, you know, and this was like my most ambitious film. My previous films, I did it with 900,000 euros, you know, my previous one, so I has less pressure, but this was a film with 7 characters, with a lot of effects. So I was not confident to have 7 non-professional actors. You have to take care of them, so it's a lot of energy. And to mix this professional actor, you know, we found someone who is really humble, you know, Sergi. An actor knows how to build a mask. In his case, yeah, he knows to do this, but for this film, he was more the opposite. He was more to take off the mask, to be a zero, like the ravers, you know. I mean, what I like of shooting a non-professional actor is that they are just in front of the camera. They don't play, you know. I invent them like they are. It's really powerful, this energy, this vulnerability that they have, you know. I think that we feel, because we are also fragile, we like this, you know.
Using non-professional actors for a film of this budget is not crazy. 60 millimeter cameras in the desert with
visual effects, a lot, explosions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's it's a question that you have to make to my producers. You know, I mean, I always tell them who is more crazy. You know, the crazy one or the ones that they go with the crazy. You know, who is more crazy? You know,
I'm going to vote them.
me or you?
No,
you know.
it's definitely you.
But I wanted to tell you that making art is going through your limits, like rave culture, like spirituality. I mean, it's like jump into the abyss. I mean, this is what we are paid for, to experiment a film through your body, you know?
Speaking of experiencing something through your body, let's talk about the minefield sequence. It does feel transcendental. Can you talk a little bit about conceiving it and just putting it together before we go?
I was traveling, I was making a kind of peregrination in Senegal. So coming back, I spent time in Mauritania, and in the border, there is like a no man's land. And I found that space really interesting, you know. One of my favorite films is Stalker from Tarkovsky.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One of these that thinks that feels that there is nothing that doesn't move for a perfect reason, you know, and there is a kind of a creative intelligence behind things, you know. So that's why I shoot in the nature, you know, because nature manifests and tests. A place that shakes you sometimes through crisis, but in a way that you look inside. You have to evoke this. I don't want to say this. I don't want that people understand this. I like that the spectators could feel that this is a desert, but should be another thing at the same time. I don't know why, but this feeling of estrangement, yeah, or mystery.
Well, Sirāt Sirāt has many meanings, I believe, but a path is one of them, right? And this is the path of transformation. And this is a film that's all about transformation. Sometimes it means that a desert transforms into a minefield, and other times it means that somebody transforms into something else, you know, the caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Can you come with me to make the campaign of this
Yeah.
film?
My rates are cheap. It's really good. Thank you guys so much for showing up here. Thank you for sticking around.